Hi, I'm Paul Evans. I'm a consultant for steel fabrication industry, and I want to tell you something about the integrated software solution Nemetschek SCIA Steer Manager, which is based on the latest BIM technology. And I want to tell in this presentation some more about the project management and planning items that are available in this solution. So let's start with the planning. Now, typically in steel fabrication is that the planning can be divided in several stages. First of all, you have the overall project planning, which is called in the SCIA Steel solution the master scheduler. Now, based on the conditions and the resources that are defined in this master scheduler, you have to define the planning more detailed, for instance for fabrication. And for fabrication we have the production planning and routing tools. Now, planning is very important, but of course planning is only actual if you also have information about the progress of the activities you planned in your planning. So we are also have tools available to get this information on progress. So let's start with the beginning. Very first, I want to give you some advantages in using the SCIA Steel solution. So the project planning tool is for offers and for project orders, including milestones. You get the information in the project planning on resource load. Very important also, it is linked to the BIM model, so automatically the resource load and the quantity is calculated and adjusted in the planning. When we do the progress management in the BIM model in our database, we get this information automatically feedback to the planning. And of course, the very big advantage is that all the resources of the company will be controlled and managed in one system, and this for all concurrent projects in the company. How does it look like? So the master scheduler is in fact two major functions. The first is what we call the project management tool, which is used by the project managers, where they give their projects and their tasks, including the needed kind of resources in order to have for the complete project environment all information available for the management of the resources and the management of the milestones of each project. Very important also is that within the system we can simulate the planning of offers and of course integrate some workflow management. Based on all these conditions of the projects, we get information for each of the resources. For instance, in this example here, we concentrate on the draftsman, the erectors, the assembly operations, the part operations, and the painting department. And in fact, what we see here is in a certain week, we have the load for each of these group of resources. And if we click on a certain area, in this case the area for the draftsman, we see how these items are consumed, how what they have to do in a certain period. For instance, here you see that on this day we have 74% on the office building project 2012-02 and 49% on the steel structure, the project 2012-004. Yeah, now it's also possible to adjust this in order to have everything in controllable environment, which means around the 100% capacity usage. And of course, if you're not able to do it with your own resources, you're always able to add subcontractors to certain tasks or part of tasks. Once all this is defined, very important also is of course that the resources will be managed most of the time by or a general planner or by each of the responsibles of the departments. Now, once these conditions and the workload is defined, how we want to work, the next step, for instance, for production is that you will use these conditions, this environment, to define more in detail what and when will be produced in the factory, in the workshop. Now, very important in this is, because we have all the details on the model, we are able to calculate very detailed and very accurate the time needed to produce all of these items. Yeah, so it's based on what we call the what, how, where terminology. Yeah, so if I have a hole in a certain beam, this hole I can drill, I can punch, I can whatever, and I can do it on the padding house or on whatever machine. Now, very important also is we define all the possible routings in the factory. So based on all this information, we are able to make what we call the workshop planning, telling me, okay, this beam has to be produced first there, then go to the drilling line, then go to the assembly line 5, and then go to the painting. As a result, in fact, we see also what we call the time management module. Within this bill of material, here we see there are some columns, there are some beams and plates, and some welds. And for all of these items, we see for each operation within the factory, within the workshop, how much time it will take, and depending on the color we can also see what is ready and what is not ready. So the green is ready, the red means it's not ready yet, the blue means in fact that some items are finished but some are not finished. Once this all is planned, the next step of course is that we do the progress control. This can be done directly on the model or can also be done by barcode systems, especially in the factory, in the workshop. It's a typical way of collecting information on progress, but also on timings. And based on those two data informations, we can control the progress, the cost, but also the efficiency for each of the cost centers. As mentioned, we can also control this on the 3D model. This is typical for the site directions, for instance, where they can add this information, for instance, on an iPad or whatever, in order to control what is delivered, but also what is erected and what is controlled by the customer. And this information can again be used by the project manager to do his tasks in the office. Now, to control and to plan and to use this planning, it's important to have project management tools. First of all, in the system we have full control on all items that are available in the database, in the model. We have all information going from geometry to drawings. Yeah? So with one click on a certain column we get the drawing of this element, and we can see also revisions on these drawings. So in fact we have and the 3D model and the drawing management information available in the system. We can also define the sequence how we want to erect the structure. So, and based on this we can simulate it in the software solution, in the 3D model. Very important also is when we have big projects, when we have big contracts, it makes sense to divide the model into several stages, several phases. Now, typically in steel fabrication, I think we have the three main type of phases. First of all, how do I want to build it? Yeah. If I have a structure of 200 tons and I do about 60 tons a week on the site, yeah, I will typically divide this 200 tons structure into three building phases. Another possibility is to define what we call the transport phases. Yeah? Now this can be a part of the building phases or can be independent of the building phases. Now it makes more sense to do this in a link with the building phase, of course, because it will give the group deadlines for the transport phases. And then the third type of phase is, of course, how will I produce these items? Will I concentrate on similar elements, or will I focus completely on the process, and in the sense that I only make what I need on site for the erection for the customer. It's also possible to add some information on contract rules. Yeah? Sometimes it makes sense that the contract tells us that columns have a different price for the customer than, for instance, the wind braces. Yeah, so we can add some contract rules, which in fact makes it possible, rather easy to once something is finished, to make the invoices to the customer. We also have a 3D shipment manager. So based on the volume of each element and the volume that is available on the truck or whatever shipment methodology we use, we will define per truck and plan per truck, and also register what is loaded on the truck. And this again visualized in 3D or just based on the bill of material without 3D.